Hello everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how this 2003 model John Deere 9986 6-row basket picker, cotton picker works. Start from the heads. Alright, we're going to start from the heads. Let's go over here to this number 6 unit. So, as you're picking cotton, your rowest cotton comes through here. And what's inside here is a big drum with bars on them that have these little things on them. And those little things are sticking out are on these bars right there. These right here are called spindles. And these are rotating on a gearbox. Or the drum's rotating. And I think there's something inside the bars, and these spindles are turning all day and night. And as the stalk comes through, the spindles grab hold of the cotton, take it out of the hole, and it wraps around the spindle. See there's the spindles, and right back there is the drum. And you got these doors here to access them and clean the heads out. And this picker has a onboard water system to clean the spindles, because there's sap on the plants. And there's these things on here. These are called moisture pads, and they moisturize the spindles and keep them clean. And then, because cotton is attracted to moisture, so when that spindle's wet, the cotton gets attracted to that moisture and it easily comes off and gets wrapped around the spindle. Then inside of here, you see those yellow things or orange things? Those are called dolphers. And the spindle is just barely touching them. Like barely. And that's what knocks the cotton off. That's what knocks the cotton off. And it knocks off the cotton, goes through here and gets blown by really high velocity air. By really high air on the cotton picker. And it goes up these chutes and up into the basket. And the basket extends higher. It's just right now in transport mode, but when it's in harvest mode, the basket extends taller to make more room for cotton. You can pick cotton this way, but it's really not efficient to do that. And sorry for the wind, I cannot control Mother Nature, but the cotton gets blown up front in those ducts, or I call them chutes, but they're really called ducts, into the basket, and the cotton gets stored in there. So let's take y'all to where the cotton ends up going. But first, it requires me having to go over to the equipment yard. Alright. So once that cotton picker's full of cotton, like completely full, it goes into this. This hooks up to a tractor, obviously by the hitch pin. And it's called a bowl buggy, and this makes it more efficient for the cotton picker, so it does not have to, drive where it was all the way to the module builder, which I will show you here in a bit. But it makes it more efficient. It hauls cotton, and It's always pretty handy to have one of these if you still pick with a basket picker like what Uncle Howard uses, which was the cotton picker I just showed y'all. Then the cotton gets hauled from the bull buggy to these. These are called module builders, and they build a module, and the bull buggy dumps it into the module builder, and the module builder takes that big compressor and smashes the cotton and compresses it down, and it makes a big long rectangle module builder, and it pulls off, and it pulls off the module, and let me show y'all. And we use these tarps to cover the module to keep it safe from weather. And yeah, that's really how cotton is picked. And then module trucks come and get the cotton and and take it to the gin and gin it. And I'm gonna show you how some other things about a cotton picker that most people might know about a cotton picker, like the cotton picker spindle grease, or just cotton picker grease, and why we need water on the cotton picker. And I'll tell you how the round roller picker works. So let's head back over to the cotton picker. Alright, I'm gonna tell you why we need cotton picker spindle grease on a cotton picker. So let's start from the tank. Spindle grease. Now the reason why we need cotton picker spindle grease, I had to put the hood on. It is pretty cold out here, especially for South Georgia. And we live in the South, and it gets blows into like close to 20s. So, but anyways, the reason why we need cotton picker spindle grease is for these heads, because it lubes the system, lubes all the drums and everything in the heads, keeps them from burning up, and just keeps them, it just makes them last longer. And if you don't grease them, or if a grease fitting goes out on them, and the heads are not greasing, and one of these drums inside of here, you see all that grease? One of these drums inside of here get dry, some of the cam rollers in there and stuff like that can get, burnt up and stuff like that. My hand's filthy from just touching this thing. And really bad things can happen to the head, where you have to assemble the whole entire head and get it rebuilt. And that's some big bucks right there. And then another reason here, why do we need water for the cotton picker? I'll show you just why. Earlier I showed y'all these moisture pads, and the spindles were up right here, and there's cotton picker spindle grease that goes through here, these little tips here, and same back here, because there's another drum and dolphin set. And since there's sap on these plants, that can get real sticky on the spindles, and cotton will not, and the dolphin won't be able to do a good job of knocking the cotton off and blowing it up into a basket. So we need these to keep the spindles moist, because cotton, like I said, is attracted to moisture. So if you watch, cotton picker harvest videos, you have to wait until the dew dries off, so the picker picks it cleaner and better, and puts more cotton into the basket. Let's show y'all the operating station of this picker. Just gotta climb the ladder. And up into the cab. Can't fall down there. Fall right onto the tire. Bump my head. Oh, sorry about my hand. Alright, this is the inside of this 2003 model John Deere 9986. You got your steering wheel there. There's a little pedal down there that lets the steering wheel down. You know, power steering, classic. You know, we know how steering works. Or at least some of us do. Here's your gear shifter. This is for your gears. I think right now it's in first or neutral. But you got first, neutral, second, and third road gear. First is first gear is 4 miles an hour. Second gear is 4.5 miles an hour, and then third gear is your road gear. So, yeah. And this cotton picker is a hydrostat transmission picker. So there's two. So there's just these big. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a hydrostat transmission. So if you push this lever forward, the picker goes forward. If you push the lever here, that's park. If you push it back, that's reverse. Here's your two levers. This is for the fan, and this is your throttle. Yeah, half throttle, full throttle, idle. This is for your fan. You gotta turn this switch on first before the throttle. So, and then this, I believe, just separates, because this cotton picker head, or the whole entire header system, is split, and each row unit is just individual. It's not all connected together. And there's your drive shaft that drives the gearboxes and drives everything inside there. But so if like your rows are a little wonky on there, and you need to push it, you just push the lever, it goes to the right, push it that way, pushes it to the left, and that cylinder does all that. Then you got your augers in there, which there's augers in the basket, so it can create more room inside the cotton picker to store more cotton, or have more cotton put into the basket, so you can keep picking until you're full. So that's for the auto, so it'll automatically turn on when it needs to. That's the button to fold up the back for the basket. You put, I think it's this way pushes the basket up, and this way pushes down. Then you got, I think these are like your tether buttons. I don't remember exactly. I don't know a whole lot still. You got your high and low. I don't know really much about that. This adjusts your water pressure here. Not sure about that. But yeah. Simple. That's how I like it. Then you got your console up here. Volts, your temperature, and then of course your fuel. All right there, and then your vents. Then up here you got all your alarms and stuff like that. You know, you got all your row units. There's little sensors inside the row units for when your header gets stocked up. It presses against that sensor, and one of these alarms out of 6 goes off. You got your full basket alarm. I'm not sure about that. Low water alarm, park and brake alarm, tether, auger ones. That one will light up. That one will light up if the augers turn auto steer. I think that one's for something else. I can't remember. Low water alarm. So, I don't know what about this. These two. I think this one's low water. I don't know about this. But yeah. Then you got all your lights and stuff up here. AC. And your radio for entertainment. And that's the command cab, or captain's quarter, of a John Deere 9986 6-row basket picker, 2003 model. But now we're going to talk about how a round roller picker works. A round roller picker works basically the same thing with the heads and stuff, but everything behind here is different. And let me show you what's different. Instead of a basket, it's a small accumulator. I'll have to do some editing in the video and show y'all a picture. There's a small accumulator, which is basically a mini basket. If you ever seen a round roller cotton picker, you definitely might know what a round roller picker is. If you ever seen a round roller picker, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, it's a little hard to explain that. But a round roller cotton picker is got a little mini basket called an accumulator. And that accumulator holds cotton, and there's an automatic mode and on all that stuff on there since it's fancier. Basically, that's a complete revolutionary series. And then there's augers in the bottom of that accumulator and a belt. And now that cotton from an accumulator goes down and gets augered in and belted into what is basically a ginormous round baler. A hay baler, basically what it is, but bigger and does cotton. And then it wraps up and then there's a lot of talk about and stuff like that, but there's videos on YouTube that could tell better information. Particularly, I know more about the basket pickers because that's kind of what I grew up around. I mean, back in Oconee County where I live, this is my Uncle Howard's farm, 1,300 acres, spread out, not in just Tipton, but spread out and stuff like that, poultry and other stuff, even in Barron County, Georgia. And especially in my area, Oconee County, where that county's mostly farmland and small towns, stuff like that. They run 4-row basket pickers, but around big farm areas where they run 6-row machines and all that, a round roller would come better in handy, or a 6-row basket picker. But down in our area, the fields are not so big. 4-row just fine, and it's hard to find, I guess, a 6-row like one of these. Hard to find down there. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something about cotton pickers if you never knew about them. Very basic. I know how they work. I might do a video here on how a peanut picker works, on how I know how they work. I really don't know much about peanut pickers, but I do learn them. I learn something new about them every day. So there you go. I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you like to watch my videos and stuff like that. Thank you all for passing 80 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I wish I could get some cotton picker videos out of us picking cotton, but Uncle Howard had gotten some help. Other cotton pickers, like another basket picker, and apparently 2 round roller pickers. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. See y'all later.